everyone, and welcome to prompt number 52. As usual, I don't know what to say, so let's get into it. We have stained glass and Sphinx. All right, here we go. So right away, I was feeling pretty good about this prompt because, as you guys know, my style is on the angular and shaped, like triangular style, I suppose. And with stained glass, I think it's all about putting shapes together to create a larger piece because you're working with materials that aren't as easy to use. I think it's like metal and glass or something. So you don't have complete control with these sort of materials, so you end up shaping these stained glass images with triangles and circles, and things end up sort of angular, and that matches my style exactly. So my original idea in the sketches was to have a Sphinx that was in a stained glass window, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to just illustrate a window completely, or if I just wanted to have a character that was in a stained glass window sort of style. So as you can see, obviously I went with creating a character, but the idea behind it is that the Sphinx is turning into a stained glass. So maybe a witch put a spell on her or something like that, but either way, she is turning into a stained glass from the wings, and it's coming over the rest of her body, so it's like taking over her, and she's in a lot of pain, and she's suffering, and that's the backstory. Not a happy story, but it's a backstory. And yet again in this video I am playing around with the video recording style, so I thought I would bring back my iPhone, which is what I started off with this channel with. I was recording with my iPhone 5S for the longest time, up until about a month ago when I bought a camera specifically for recording videos like this. But with me experimenting with the video style and stuff, I thought I would break my iPhone back out because the quality is pretty good, like you almost can't tell between the two cameras. And so because I can have two different cameras set up, I thought I would get one at a different angle and then switch between them. So instead of just playing around with speeding up the footage and then also leaving the footage at real time, I thought I would also play around with the angle. I'm not sure what sort of difference it makes. It's really funny because you see the exact same thing, but somehow looking at footage at a different angle, I guess, can just make it a little bit more interesting or even give you a better view as to what is going on. But either way, as usual, let me know what you think about this. I think I'm just going to keep playing around with the editing in these videos because it's just a lot of fun to play around with, and you never know what's going to work, and it's just fun to mix it up and keep you guys guessing to what will happen. So I wanted to start off by coloring off this Sphinx with a very yellow color because I knew I wanted to make the stained glass wings and bits of her to be sort of a blue color because I knew it would be kind of complementing to a yellow-orange color. And I did want the stained glass window to be not super bright because I'm not into those very neon-y stained glass colors, but I did want it to be a little bit more colorful than she is because she's more natural. She's an animal and a human, which are more earthy colors. And stained glass has all of those unnatural and bright, eye-catching colors because it's meant to be decorating. So instead of making the wings red and having the whole sort of picture kind of a warm theme, I thought it would be really interesting to have the character those warm yellow colors and then having the stained glass a cool color because it really contrasts what is natural and what is not natural. So of course, because she is being taken over by this spell and turning into stained glass, I really wanted to make sure that you could see the difference between those two objects, and having one a very unnatural blue color that you wouldn't find on an animal like this or a human. Usually those bright colors on animals are used for attracting mates and stuff, but that's not what is used for these sorts of animals like humans or lions. Is a Sphinx? So my technique for coloring in these stained glass bits was to put a very watered down blue color, and then I would go through with a more condensed blue, purple, or pink color and just dab it into the water parts so that it would just soak in and spread out a little bit. It's a sort of tie-dyed effect, but I think that is pretty similar to what you see in stained glass. It's just kind of marbled in color. You can also have just plain regular color, but I thought it would be really interesting to put some more texture and just more visual interest into the wings. And of course, tie-dye isn't something that you find on animals, so by making the wings a sort of tie-dye marbled color on the wings, it would make it even more unnatural. And basically, I just really wanted these wings to stand out and make sure that they looked very much that they did not belong on this animal, even though sphinxes don't even— sphinxes? Sphinx? Sphinx eye? Even though a sphinx isn't even a creature that would exist in this world. If it did, it wouldn't be this color. Would it? I don't know. It's a fake animal. What do I know? But I really like the way that the wings are very colorful and there's some texture going on, and then you look at her hair and it's very dark and flat, and I really like to do these sort of contrasting things in my illustrations. I am a huge fan of flat illustrations, but I do find that adding some details here and there really do add to the illustration, so it's fun to mix in these flat bits like her hair, but then also put in some shadow and details elsewhere. I guess it's just a very contrasting, stylizing thing that's fun to mix together. Personally, I don't like when illustrations are way too complicated. I really like to have places for my eye to breathe. So, for example, in my ant illustrations, as much as I do want to cover the whole page in ants, I think it is fun to have a spot here or there that is kind of a resting spot for your eye, because you don't want it to be too much. Or you do, and that's fine too. So for my finishing details on this illustration, I put in some shine or magic marks throughout the wings just to show that there is change happening or that there is light reflecting or something. Basically, this is a transformation that is happening over time. She is suffering, she is slowly dying, and even though she is in pain and that's horrible, look how beautiful her wings are. Isn't this just a beautiful scene? Look how majestic that is. Maybe the place she dies will forever be known as a very beautiful place to go visit and have a picnic, because look at that beautiful Sphinx statue over there. It's so pretty to look at. People will be taking selfies next to it and they don't even know someone suffered and died there. Wow! Welcome to the prompt series where we get dark. Alright, thanks for watching and I will see you in the next video. Bye! And welcome to the Inslate where things got out of control. I want to thank all almost 200 of you who participated in the last prompt. I honestly didn't expect that many of you to get into it, and I really appreciate everyone who participated. Unfortunately, like I said in the last video, I might have to cut some of them out, and I did. I only included 64 in this Inslate, and this is 2 minutes long. So in the future, I might have to even cut it down to 20. I was originally going to try to put all of them in there just for this one time, but that would have ended up being like a 10-minute slideshow, and that's ridiculous. So I do apologize that in the future, I'm going to have to pick and choose which prompts get into the Inslate, and it isn't going to be just skill-based. It is going to be skill-based, idea-based, things that make me laugh, things that are silly, just anything. So I don't want anyone to be discouraged if you didn't make it into this one. It was just entirely a sad situation. So please feel free to participate again, and you might see your illustration at the end of the next prompt. So draw your Sphinx and stained glass prompt, hashtag Kasey the prompt, and maybe you'll see yourself at the end of the next video. Alright, bye again.